Welcome, whoops, I can edit this, so it's fine. Welcome today. We're going to be doing a 20-25 minute pranayama practice, and I have my two wonderful students here to help. So we're going to be starting off with Setu Bandha with the bolster. So if you two could turn to face the windows and sit towards the side of the bolster that's closest to the windows. Yeah, and make sure your bolster's straight back. Okay. And then, yes, sit a little further forward on the bolster. And then you're going to lie straight back, and your head is going to come to the floor. Now, very, very slowly, you'll push with your feet and slowly edge yourself down so that your shoulders come onto the floor. And the back of your neck, yeah, just stop right there. The back of the neck is long. And you can let your shoulders rest down. So, and you go ahead and just bend your legs a moment and just push yourself back a little further. Yes, towards me, okay. And then you can turn your palms upwards towards the ceiling. So if you're looking on the camera, you'll notice that most of the middle and the upper back is supported on the bolster, so the sides of the chest are very open. And then from here, you can do this pose with your legs bent, or you can do this pose with the legs extended out straight. And as the legs extend straight, you don't have to fully straighten them the entire way through this, but once in a while, you'll stretch your heels away. So both of you stretch your heels in the direction, that's it, at the windows. And then you can, again, once in a while, just straighten your legs, but you can also now just relax. Now, Andy, take your glasses off and just put them to the side. Your palms turn upwards towards the ceiling. Close your eyes. And have you bend your legs and slide a little further off this way, just another 2 inches there, stop right there. There we go, that's it. Okay. Yeah. In this variation of Setu Bandha, there is a sense of softening and around your shoulders and your neck. And you can even sense a broadness that comes across your collarbones as you let go of your shoulders and relax your arms. Soften your throat, soften your jaw. Relax your eyes. Start to pay attention to the feeling of your breath. Because of the support of the pose, your inhaling breath comes almost spontaneously into the top of your chest and the sides of your chest. So notice when you take your inhaling breath, this broadness and expansion that happens. It's not the same as lifting the shoulders. The shoulders should continue to release and relax. And then when you come to the exhaling breath, notice or feel how your abdomen softens, releases, relaxes downwards, almost a hollowness. The movement of your trunk on your inhale and your exhale is very spontaneous. You don't have to make any adjustments. But see if you can adjust your mind to very simply watch the movement of your breath, noticing that the inhaling breath and the exhaling breath really come from very, very different parts of your body. In yoga, we talk about the vayus, the great winds or energies of the body. And the prana vayu is up in this heart center of your chest. And the prana vayu is responsible for the inhaling breath and for nourishing the body. And of course, nourishing the mind with oxygen. And on your exhalation, as you allow for your abdomen to soften and feel this almost hollowing out or deflation of your abdomen on your exhalation. This is the apana vayu, the part of your breath that is responsible for your exhalation. And it is a practice to start to become not only aware of these vayus, the prana vayu and the apana vayu, but also to observe their balance. The inhaling breath is a wonderful breath to take us to the next moment and to draw some of the energy of the universe into ourselves. And the exhalation is always the great letting go. The exhalation, in certain ways, taking us to a place where we really don't know at all. And BKS Iyengar would talk about the exhaling breath as a sacred act of surrender. And again, you're not forcing the breath in or out, but very simply watching the movement of your breath. You don't have to count the breath. It doesn't have to be longer than you can possibly do. Once in a while, stretch your heels away and just see if it makes a slight difference to the elongation of your abdomen particularly. And certainly will have a slight effect on the length of your exhaling breath. Setu Bandha can be held for a long period of time, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to come out of the pose now. So to come out, you'll bend your legs one at a time and place your feet flat onto the floor. Now push with your feet and slide yourself head first away from the windows, away from the bolster, until your hips come down onto the same level as your shoulders. Keep your legs bent and just let your feet rest on the floor. Just stay there for a moment. And then when you're ready, roll over to your right side. And then lift your head up last of all as you come on rolling up. Okay. So for this next pose, we're going to do a seated pranayama. We're going to do what they call a seated Bhramari. And Bhramari is the bumblebee breath. So you're going to take, you've got your bolster, and you're going to take another blanket. And Andy, I'll show on your spot how this is going to look. Okay. It's particularly important for the neck, for the shoulders, for the lift of the chest, to have a hand support in your pranayama practice. So you'll sit on a height. If you need more height in a bolster, you can of course put another couple of blankets on top. But this blanket goes over your thighs, and Susanna, if you come and watch here. So I'm just going to demonstrate the posture and also the breath. When you place your hands down, you'll have your palms facing downwards. And the position of your blanket depends on you, the length of your arms. But if it's too far forwards, what it does is it collapses the shoulders. If it's pulled too far back, then it pinches the shoulders. So you have to find your position where you can literally let your upper arms release downwards towards your elbows. And of course, the sides of the chest lift up. So we're going to do 3 of the Bhramari breaths, 3 variations, and I'm going to show all 3. And I'm going to ask you to really listen to the difference in the sound. One of the things before I begin is that Gita Iyengar talks of this as humming, that the Bhramari breath, the bumblebee breath, is a humming, but it's not the same as humming a tune. And did you notice when the sound sort of changed a little bit when we got to the end of the exhaling breath, then your breath is done. I'm going to show the next 2 variations without talking, and then I'm going to have you do, and I'll talk you way through it. let your head and neck release down. Organize the position so that you're sitting up on a height, and you'll place your hands down on the blanket and allow for, if you need to, a little shift of your hands or the blankets forward and back so that you can let your shoulders release downwards towards your elbows. And then lift your chest up, just like the bolster was allowing for that in the Setu Bandha position. Broaden your collarbones to the left and to the right side. You can close your eyes, and now take a breath in, and at the end of your exhaling breath, let your head and neck release downwards. Soften your jaw and your face. Your chin does not have to touch your sternum bone, but it just allow for a constant attention to the lift of your chest. Take a couple of breaths before we begin the Bhramari breath, and just allow for a softness to come to your throat, a softness to come to your jaw, a softness to even come to your face. Relax your shoulders down towards your elbows, your inner armpits down towards your inner elbows. Relax your hands. And you let your head release down just a little bit more. There you go. So after your next exhaling breath, take an inhaling breath. And allow for the breath to fill upwards to the sides of your chest, just as you did when you were on the bolster, lying down in Setu Bandha. When you reach the top of the inhalation, there's a pause for a moment. And then exhale, start your Bhramari exhalation. And as you start, you should notice that the breath is coming to an end. Don't force the breath out, just let the breath end. Take a normal breath in and a normal breath out. And then after your next exhalation, take another inhaling breath. And allow for the breath once again to fill up to the sides of your chest. Soften your jaw. At the top of the inhalation, there's a pause, and then exhale your breath out with this humming sound. And when you reach the end, don't force the air out, just let the breath come to its natural stop, and then you take a normal breath in, normal breath out, and just adjust your posture if need be, so that your chest stays lifted, but let there be a softness again in your throat and your neck. After your next exhalation, take another inhaling breath, and then begin your Bhramari exhalation after a slight pause at the top of your inhalation. And then when the breath is done, take a normal breath in and out. The next 3 Bhramari exhalations will be done with your face forwards, and you can keep your eyes closed. So on your next inhalation, raise your head up. Take a moment just to adjust your posture, sitting straight, up and down. After your next exhalation, begin your inhaling breath. Gently draw the breath to the sides of your ribs and upwards to the sides of the chest, to the top of the chest. And then there's a momentary pause, and then begin your Bhramari exhalation. Take a normal breath in and a normal breath out. And take these normal breaths, or as the Iyengars would say, unconditioned breaths, to make any adjustments to your posture. And just pay attention to any tension that has arisen up in your forehead or your jaw. Soften there. After your next exhalation, take another breath in. Allow allow for the breath to gently fill to the sides of your chest, to the top of your chest. And then there's a pause and begin your exhalation. Normal breath in, normal breath out. Be in an ongoing effort to soften where there is tension, and yet maintain this lift upwards through the sides of your chest. Imagining that that bolster was still supporting you from the back of your body. After your next exhalation, take another inhaling breath. When you reach the top of the inhalation, there's a pause, and then you can exhale your Bhramari exhalation. Take a normal breath in and a normal breath out. For the last 3, you'll be taking your head up, but in between each of the breaths, your head will come back to where it is in this position. So after your next exhaling breath, take a long, slow inhaling breath. And now when you reach the top of the inhalation, there's a pause, and at that point, lift your chest more and extend your face, your chin upwards towards the ceiling, and then take your Bhramari exhalation from here. When you reach the end of the exhalation, turn your face forwards. Make sure that you're not leaning back from that variation of the pose, of the breath, excuse me. And then at the end of your next exhalation, take another inhaling breath and see if you can draw the breath up to the sides of your chest, as if the lift of your chest will assist with the extension of the front and the back of your neck as you raise your head up at the end of your inhalation, and then exhale, Bhramari exhalation. See that your jaw stays soft, face quiet, chest lifted. At the end of the exhalation, turn your face forwards. Make any adjustments on your unconditioned or normal breath. And then after your next exhalation, take another inhaling breath. Draw the breath up through the sides of your ribs to the very top of your chest. See that your shoulders stay relaxed downwards as you lift upwards through your sternum bone towards your chin. Face soft, exhale. At the end of the exhalation, turn your face forwards. And then from here, just take a few moments lying flat on your back. You can put a blanket underneath your head if you choose. Have your feet in the direction of the windows. See that you don't play with the breath now, but just allow for your arms and your legs to relax completely. I'm going to read a short excerpt from Pema Chodron's book, When Things Fall Apart. And the title is, This Very Moment is the Perfect Teacher. Generally speaking, we regard discomfort in any form as bad news. But for practitioners or spiritual warriors, people who have a certain hunger to know what is true, feelings like disappointment, embarrassment, irritation, resentment, anger, and fear, instead of being bad news, are actually very clear moments that teach us where it is that we are holding back. They teach us to perk up and lean in when we feel we'd rather collapse and back away. They're like messengers that show us with terrifying clarity exactly where we're stuck. And this very moment is the perfect teacher. And lucky for us, it's with us wherever we are. The events and people in our lives who trigger our unresolved issues could be regarded as good news. We don't have to go hunting for anything. We don't need to try to create situations in which we reach our limit. They occur all by themselves with clockwork regularity. And each day we're given many opportunities to open up or shut down. The most precious opportunity presents itself when we come to the place where we think we can't handle whatever is happening. It's too much. It's gone too far. We feel bad about ourselves. And there is no way we can manipulate the situation to make ourselves come out looking good. No matter how hard we try, it just won't work. Basically, life has nailed us. Most of us don't take these situations as teachings. We automatically hate them and run like crazy. And we use all kinds of ways to escape. And all our addictions stem from this moment when we meet our edge and we just can't stand it. We feel we have to soften it, pad it with something, and we become addicted to whatever it is that seems to ease the pain. In fact, materialism that we see in the world stems from this moment. There are so many ways that have been dreamt up to entertain us away from the moment, soften its hard edge so that we don't have to feel the full impact of the pain. But in our practice, we're not trying to live up to some kind of ideal. Quite the opposite. We're just being with our experience, whatever it is. And if our experience is that sometimes we have some kind of perspective and sometimes we have none, then that's our experience. If sometimes we can approach what scares us and sometimes we absolutely can't, then that's our experience. And this very moment is the perfect teacher, and it's always with us. It is really a most profound instruction. Just seeing what's going on, that's the teaching right there. And we can be with what's happening and not disassociate into our fears and anxieties. Awakeness is found in our pleasure and our pain, our confusion and our wisdom, available in each moment of our weird, unfathomable, ordinary, everyday lives. Bend your elbows now one at a time and place your hands somewhere on your chest or on your abdomen. Bend your legs one at a time and let your feet rest on the floor. And then roll over to your right side and lift your head last of all as you come on all the way up to sit.